Hello guys, and welcome back to Total War Rome 2 with our next PvP battle. This is a port assault siege of Carthage. Over here we have our first defender, the Iceni, played by Dr. Dave, who has brought some ships. He's also taking this wall over here mainly. I'll get into the strategy in a moment. I am defending alongside him with my army of Spartans. On the offense, over here is Demolocus with an offensive Nabatean force, interesting choice. And on the other side is some Germanic barbarians, the Suebi. So desert and barbarian versus barbarian and Greek. Interesting matchup. Let's take a look at what the attackers have first, and we'll get to this in a minute. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy siege towers right here. He has a mixture of units here. Heavy desert spearmen, noble swordsmen. The noble swordsmen are a good choice, I'd say, probably. I don't know why he put spearmen on a tower. Oh my god, what the fuck? Well, apparently he's also recruited Jesus because... Yeah, okay. Oh, wow, what the fuck kind of bug is that? Anyway, yeah, in the past few battles I've recorded, I've noticed a lot of people love to throw spears on the walls, especially in these, like, offensive situations, which I'm not quite sure about. I'm playing Sparta. I don't actually have any spears set to go on the walls at the moment, but we'll see how that plays out. What else is in his army? Some Nabatean heavy archers, 4 units of them. For this battle, we actually had a rule of no more than 3 archers or slingers, so he actually broke that, but that was a fair accident, so we let it slide. 2 noble swordsmen right here. 2 noble swordsmen underneath the heavy galley. Interesting. His general is a Nabatean noble cav, flanked by some heavy desert spearmen. Oh jeez, what is this? Is that all the general unit? That can't be. I guess it is. Alright. Behind that is some Hellenic Desert Cataphracts. Super heavy shock cavalry. I almost feel like he brought this, assuming that I would make some sort of cavalry charge, which is not an unfair assessment to make. There are Nabatean thorax pikes here as well. He brought some pikes. It looks like only 1 pike unit for the whole army. Oh no, 2. Here's the Nabatean thorax pikes here. And some more heavy desert spearmen. That's pretty much the entirety of his army. It's pretty well rounded. He's brought a little bit of everything that he could ever need. Except for siege equipment, which is going to pose a big problem over here. Which, again, we'll get to. Let's take a look at the Suebi. Over here, they got some sword masters off to the side. Seemingly ignoring an entire section of wall and gatehouse here. Their entire offensive seems to be placed over here. The 2 towers they brought, both manned by berserkers. That's absolutely terrifying. I'd hate to be fighting those on the walls. I actually told Dr. Dave to take this side because I figured I'd be better off fighting Nabatea than him, since I saw the berserkers. Behind that we got, heavy galleys filled to the brim with berserkers and sword masters. I don't know why he brought so many of these. I mean, I understand not wanting to get choke pointed, but for this setup right here, you could get away with 3 towers. 1 here for this, 1 here for this, 1 here for this. If you can fit 2 over here, then another one here to come down here. That would be 4. And again, this whole wall is getting ignored. I'm not sure I understand the strategy, but this is what he's gone with. Behind him, we've got Germanic Slingers. We've got 3 of them. So, he's got some good missile support. Are these the sword masters I pointed out? Yes. We have his general, which is a noble rider. It looks like it's his only cav unit, unless he has more hiding in the woods here. We've got some hex bearers. A long line of them. I forget what hex bearers do. They might be giving, like, morale bonuses and debuffs, but he has a nice lineup of those. Went really heavy into getting them, in addition to his frontline fighters. And these are smaller units, too, and they're light. So I can't tell if they're just worse or if they provide some sort of buff, but he's put a lot of stock into them, making them about a 1/5 of his army setup that I can see. Now let's talk about the defenders, and let's start with the most obvious thing right here. So, because the deployment zone of the defender's ships goes out to, like, right around here, basically, me and Dr. Dave noticed this, and we agreed it would be smart for him to set some ships over here. He has 2 medium assault raider sword bands as an escort for this Britain onager, basically. And the whole idea, you can see the range right where it was placed already. I told him to leave it back in case, because I assumed Dema would bring some sort of, something ranged to defend himself. I did not realize he didn't have any that I could see. So I didn't want him to not get it too close. Otherwise, he could have placed it, like, right here. I told him to leave it as far back as he could, but it's set to open fire from the start. And these are his escorts, just in case they brought ships. I also did not realize they would not be bringing any ships. So these escorts were wholly unneeded. And hopefully that could deal some damage into the rear of Dema's lines. He has also brought a Britain Scorpion, which I basically told him to place right here. It has a nice range going down here, covering... God, I can hardly tell where it ends and where things begin, because I can't just select the unit and see, as far as I'm aware. But I think it basically covers the gate, so I can have this downwind firing, protecting my units, essentially. Also on his line, as you see, we both set up some cavalry. I have 2 citizen cavalry here. He has, where's his? I thought he had cavalry. Oh, he does. Veteran riders, heavy melee cavalry, and more veteran riders. 2 units of them. We both have 2 units of cav on each gate. And our plan essentially is to charge out of the gate. I do this in almost every single defensive siege. My targets vary and you can't predict it, but like Dem was very smart for bringing these shock cavalry. Because if we had selected him, he would have been ready. I wouldn't have been able to do it. But because Death Ninja didn't bring any cavalry or much of any spears to talk about, all swordsmen, he's very weak to this tactic. And again, I pull this tactic almost every battle. This time I've teamed up with Dr. Dave. His plan... Well, our plan is for me to charge out here and try to flank around, maybe distract these melee units, going for his general. But the main target was not his general, it was actually his archers. The general, if open though, would be a target. His veteran riders here were to charge out and basically try to cut between all the swordsmen and get to the archers specifically, with the goal of basically almost sacrificing our cavalry. 4 units between us to knock out, hopefully, 4 units. All of his skirmishers and his general, if at all possible. But we would be very happy to sacrifice half of our units and get all the skirmishers, if at all possible. Looking at the rest of what he has, he set up some chosen sword band to defend this, chosen sword band to defend this, a chosen spear band to defend this gate, which is a lot, considering he doesn't have much to worry about. The spear band's probably unnecessary, as well as putting these heroic nobles and druidic nobles here, also probably unnecessary. Britain Slingers ready to fire over these walls just in case he goes for the gate. We were really expecting him to kind of go for both. The fact going into this narrow choke point, we were not expecting. Over here by this other gate, we have some druidic nobles, chosen sword band, both guarding the gate and kind of the entrances to these towers. Another chosen sword band and a heroic noble unit. There's a chosen spear band protecting over here. Not too shabby. I think spears defensively on walls do tend to work fine, but spears on walls in general, it's just not the best place to put them. He set up some stakes over here in front of his Britain Slingers, kind of protecting it from any kind of, like, cav charge, I guess, because stakes only really hurt mounted units. He set up some sharp stone beds over here, kind of blocking this off if he can, and some more stakes protecting another Britain Slinger unit. Not too shabby. Do we have anything else in the back? This side is completely unguarded because we didn't see any deployments over here. No offensive ships. No units deployed over here in general. And let's take a look at my army. So I have some Royal Spartans, the best of the best, in formation guarding this stairway. I'm not too worried about anyone flanking around. You need to have a really tight formation to get around this. And if I saw something coming like that, it'd be fine. My general... Another Royal Spartan unit is sitting here behind this array of defenses. Some Spartan pikemen in formation. with some mercenary Cretan archers in front of them, next to some fiery balls of justice to launch down the stairs if it comes down to it. This street is barricaded just in case. I went ahead and put a lot of defensive stuff over here in general, just so I wouldn't have to guard it. There is some spike traps, as you can see over here, spike traps. Just in case he tries to come around here or capture this area. This tower here barricaded so I don't have to defend it, with more spike traps outside it. And we got some stakes stopping mounted units from just charging through here as well. I really just wanted to keep this area a non-issue, if at all possible. Of course, this is easier to get into if you do come through this barricade right here, but I have this more covered. Over here I have a Spartan Hoplite unit. Now, I only have spears. I don't have any swordsmen, so I have to make do with spears for defending walls. But for the most part, my strategy entailed of using cheap throwaway units such as the Spartan Youths and the Perioki Spears, Periakoi Spears, less valuable units for defending the walls to start, but mainly I was just planning on handing him the walls so I could do what Spartans do best, and I could defend the streets. I got some Spartan Hoplites over here just in case, because I don't know where his offense is going to go. Dr. Dave set up these brimstone pits. He's a big fan of them. I'm not so much, because I've never seen them be effectively used before. They're very glitchy mechanically, and units don't really lock onto them very well. Like, they'll light like these right here and then ignore the rest. I don't like it. Set some more Spartan Hoplites up right here, just spread apart, ready to defend this line. Another Spartan Hoplite defending this entrance. One defending each of these entrances. Both Spartan Hoplites, yep. Behind over here I have some Heroes of Sparta. They are very super offensive spear units that have special abilities none of my other units have. Not as good on the defense as my Royal Spartans, but I'm limited to 2 of them by the game, and they are very good at an offense. So I placed them here in case I needed to charge them around and use them offensively. I've gotten some mercenary Cretan archers back here as well, just in case. And back here as well. This was an accident. I meant to have them placed here, but in deployment I didn't realize I didn't do that. And Spartan Hoplites blocking off this road as well as this one that is barricaded. My goal really was just to allow him to capture the walls so that I could use my skirmishers to deal massive damage to him while he was on the walls. Then by the time he tried coming down here at my units, I mean, he could try skirmishing them from above, but they're Spartan Hoplites. They're super heavy spear infantry. What's he going to do? And then his melee infantry should hopefully not do as well either. That was my goal. Now, I have another Royal Spartan. This is my second pikeman. Where's my other Royal Spartan? I know I had 2, I thought. I had the General. I have this one. I guess I didn't have as much as I thought, but I swear I did. I swear I did. Where is it? Damn. I'm not sure. Maybe okay, I might have. Okay, that makes sense. I sacrificed a Royal Spartan to get the Heroes of Sparta, but that covers pretty much all the deployments. Oh, he brought a melee infantry again, the Heroic Nobles. Oh, and he set up his own fiery balls of justice back here. Weird place to put them, but all right. I think we're ready to get underway. And I just wanna look at how this starts right here, because these guys should be firing almost immediately. Yeah, they're firing pretty much immediately. And Dema just realizes now, holy shit, there's onagers, and they immediately fired and missed their first shot. But hopefully they'll score some hits. If we take a look over here, our cavalry charges are rushing out, and I am sending units for the archers as I can. He's sending his around. We'll check back on these boys in a moment. I want to capture the cavalry charge. The citizen cavalry are coming in here with a wedge, coming right for the archers. The archers are opening fire, but with the wedge, they don't stand much of a chance against this charge. And taking some skirmishing fire from the side, but we still got a nice charge in there. Look at that charge. That is awesome. Very effective. I've charged these ones around, and I'm now sending them for the general, because the general is open. I took these units out of formation already. An archer unit is wavering. The sword masters are still firing into my citizen cavalry, which is not good. The veteran riders are going right for the Germanic Slingers, and these veteran riders are going into his tower units, I guess, to try to delay them and then disengaging before the enemy units can get off of their towers and commit. These guys are trying to run away from these spear levies. Oh, he does have spearmen. I guess they were hidden. But they've gotten caught up. My units here have gotten caught up. Half dead citizen cav, but I've managed to take out an entire archer unit. This citizen cavalry is still doing fine and has managed to engage the noble riders, the general unit. Here's one routing Germanic Slinger unit. These guys are trying to run away, but they're very fucked up. These guys are coming in for another charge against these slingers. Let's capture that. Oh, it's going to be a downhill charge. Oh, man. Look at this. Nice charge. Fucking amazing. Look at this, dude. Awesome. So I think that's I think 2 of his skirmishers got hit pretty hardly. These ones have recovered. These ones are not going to die. I pretty much committed these units for fighting the general and delaying his advance over here because Dema's advance is moving very quickly. Okay, well, we've already missed the scramble over here with the onager, which is still firing. Here we go. It's still firing. It's moved up a little, I believe. It can only fire onto the one unit, and it is missing. Onagers are not the strongest units. Look like these pikes have taken damage from the onager. Just scanning around to try to... Let's slow it down real quick. Some cav lost some units. Looks like he mainly only hit some pikemen. There weren't many other kills here. But the enemy units are landing on the walls now. The Nabateans, I have charged up the Periokoi spears and the Spartan youths onto the wall to stop this. I seem to be letting him... Yeah. Oh, my skirmishers have opened fire already on the desert spearmen that are landing on the walls. Already scoring some kills. I am literally just handing him the walls everywhere else except up here. I'm sending some Spartan Hoplites to kind of defend this in case he tries to charge up. But otherwise, I'm pretty much just defending the gates and letting him have the wall so I can skirmish into him. Also, are these Britons firing? Yes, they are. The ballistas are firing. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah. They're firing right up here. Interesting thing to do. He's already trying to charge these guys down here. He is trying to capture the gates. He's not charging into the Spartan youth just yet, even though they're very weak. Periokoi spears have a fight cut out for them. These guys are just kind of lining the walls, getting shot up by my slinger fire. You still see the onager firing in the background. There's some arrows over here too, I think I just saw. I've decided to move these units, I guess. Oh yeah, I'm moving these units away. I'm not quite sure where I'm moving them. Oh, okay, I'm moving them here to kind of defend this area. Surprised here, not here, but yeah, I've just completely walked away from this. Like, here you go, have it. Oh, because he was going for this tower, so it's like, yes, fall into my trap of my spike traps and my barricaded area, which he seems to be going all for, and I wanted to get out of firing range of it. Over on this side, yeah, still not attacking. Let's slow it down. Wow, this battle's moving fast. The towers are finally about to reach the walls. Over here, damage done is, I believe, the general didn't die, but his unit got fucked up. It looks like all but a single or so of his archers were destroyed, and I believe every single cav unit was lost. I don't know if I would call it worth it, but it definitely slowed down his advance, which helped. He, for some reason, has his spear levy running this way, chasing the remnants of a routing veteran rider. It's very odd. I don't know if he even noticed this, but they're charging. All of these guys are moving up in their heavy galleys. Yeah. Demo's offensive, on the other hand, is proceeding fast and furiously. These guys are getting shot into the rear of the onager has moved up to cover a range that can actually reach the walls. These sword band are landing because he found no use for them at sea, though I didn't know if that was the best idea when Dema had some Hellenic... Hellenic? Was it Hellenic? It shouldn't be Hellenic. It is Hellenic. Desert cataphracts. Oh, here's an onager fire. Where's it going? Is it going to hit? Are we going to finally watch one hit? Oh yeah, it hit. Nice. It only killed like a single archer though. That's a shame. But Dema is pretty much charging all along the walls. He's finally just charged his units into the Spartan youth. So the battle for this part of the wall at least is beginning. As you see, my Spartan youths are not doing the greatest, but they're not meant to. They're the cheapest unit I have. They're just meant to distract and keep them on the walls to take damage. He is committing almost every melee unit he has onto these walls right now. Not the wisest thing. If I was actually fighting him for these walls, that would really come to bite him in the ass. And it's already biting him in the ass from my skirmishers, which I am trying to somewhat conserve my ammo for. I wish these Scorpions were not firing here, but instead downrange. They could be doing some massive damage, but they are insisting on firing up there. I don't think Dave gave them manual orders. I have moved the hoplites that were over here to kind of guard the onagers and keep this position safe, while these guys keep this part of the wall safe, pretty much keeping Dema from reaching this side of the wall and helping his ally. If we look over here at Death Ninja, he has gotten his berserkers up on the wall. They're fighting the Chosen Sword Band, and they're doing a, so far, a damn good job of it. They're already exhausted. Already. And they've been attacked in the rear, apparently. These guys are fighting as well. They're already exhausted. That fighting with the, that fighting out here must have tired him. Against the Chosen Spear Band. Now, this is not good for the Chosen Spear Band, but still, so far, so good. He is finally running up some reinforcements to the only 2 towers that he brought. Yeah. Oh, damn. I wish he had spaced them out more. Like, put one over here, because he's really choke pointed himself over here. And Dave is taking advantage of that, I believe. It looks like he's trying to conserve his missile fire for now, although these are the targets you want firing at. Like, you don't want them firing against the Swordmasters that are heavy. These Berserkers that are going to chew up your melee, which are barely armored despite being called heavy. These are what you want your Slingers and Archers firing into. Like, he has these guys throwing javelins straight up and missing every shot. There we go. There's the slings. That's what you need to have happen there. Let's take a look over here. And an entire one of his units has just routed from my slinger fire alone while being trapped on the walls. That is amazing. He's finally charged some units down, which are in the mix of this. He's avoided down here, which is smart for him. He is trying to charge through my defenses. He's taking on the barricades now. My Spartan Hoplites have been getting skirmished, and some of them have been dying as a result. But not too many. There's about 12 of them died to the skirmishing fire so far. He's charged these units through my barricades into combat with the Spartan Hoplites, who are starting to take some more losses. I don't remember if they're in formation, but they don't seem to be doing too well under the combined melee assault of the heavy melee infantry. Noble swordsmen are really not who you want fighting Spartan Hoplites. This is a matchup where we are the loser, especially with the skirmishing fire against us. The Periakoi spears have lost almost 100 men. As you can see, they're still fighting for these walls. Very brave men. Imagine using a spear this big on a wall. Like, this is so inefficient. Oh yeah, Dave's sword band, by the way, got completely charged down by those cataphracts. I seem to have missed it. It's a very fast-paced battle, guys, so I'm not going to be able to keep up. But that's an amazing onager hit into his general unit and some noble swordsmen. Dude, that is epic. Oh my god, that was like the best one I've seen so far. If Dema had brought a single ballista unit or onager, he could have made quick work of this. Or if he, like, kept some units back here that were ranged to keep him further away, he could have prevented this from happening. Or if he just, I don't know, deployed on this wall instead, is what I was telling him. He ended up taking major offense to this unit, though. He called it a bunch of, like, cheese and cheesy, even though his deployment zone was very clearly marked, so I'm not sure I understand that point of view. He has charged down his noble swordsmen and some thorax pikes from the wall. Oh, what the hell is happening over here? There's some serious rubber banding and shit happening right now due to the amount of units. but he has a whole bunch of units, including pikes that are out of formation in melee combat with my Spartan Hoplites. His units are actually rubber banding through my formation. This is some level of bugginess. Look at this! Oh my god. He charged too many units down or something, because they're just glitching out. I have, I'm moving my Spartan Hoplites back. Now that he's secured this, except for this Periakoi spear unit right here, I pretty much completed my objective to hand him this. I'm moving these Spartan Hoplites here to protect this line. I have these protecting this line right here, ignoring the combat behind them as oh jeez, Spartan Hoplites fight 3 different units. Noble Sword, 4 different units. He's charging so many units down here. No wonder it's so glitchy. I'm moving these units up just in case so they don't get caught in. I have Spartan Hoplites here. They look like they're in a formation almost, just in case they need to jump into here as well. He is exhausting all of his units by charging them all into battle against my Hoplites. 1 Hoplite unit, by the way, while I'm just leaving it as 1 Hoplite so that I don't tire all my units out like he's doing with his. And I don't know why he charged pikes down here. He does have skirmishers firing down now into my Spartan Hoplites, which is unfortunate, and I believe my micro is elsewhere right now. I've attempted to set these ablaze. I've managed to alight some of them, but as you can see, they're not staying alight, and only a couple of them got lit. My Spartan Hoplites here are a little more than half dead, but still fighting, still holding. The Noble Swordsmen have taken massive losses. They're charging more units in, but they're really bottlenecked right here. My Mercenary Cretan Archers have actually... Oh yeah, I moved them up to try to light these ablaze. They've lit some of them ablaze, which is nice. This is a waste of ammo, though. Like, it's barely doing anything, and he is avoiding the area. After this, I pretty much told Dave, like, hey, when we team up, just don't bring these anymore. They don't do much. But, as you can see, Dave is now moving some Chosen Sword Band in to assist in this combat, because my spears are not going to be very good once these guys break out. So, I told him to send some swordsmen if he can, because they'll chew through these units. Look at, he's got pikes, spears. Both of his pike units were charged into melee combat without a formation. They will get chewed up by his sword units. I am moving my Spartan Hoplites out of the way of his units so he can take control of the area. Death Ninja is moving the rest of his army around to Dema's side, because as we can see over here, these 2 towers are just not cutting it. 2 towers are not enough to get enough units on the wall, and he's completely overwhelmed by Chosen Sword Band and Spear Band that are holding the line, and skirmishers that are destroying him as he hits the wall. He knows it's not enough, so he's retreated most of his army around to try to assist in Dema's situation right here, where there's actually some quote-unquote success. Or I don't know how they interpreted this, actually. I don't know if they interpreted this as them beating me back on the walls, or if they realized that I handed them the walls. I forgot to ask them that. But they may have interpreted some success, so Death Ninja is sending his units around here to take care of it. He's sending his general unit to take care of the remainder of this sword band that Dave has really just lost track of. I want to see this. I want to see this charge hit, because this is just going to be comical. Here we go. Here they come. A couple javelins off, and they're dead. And they're dead. Yeah. I am moving some Spartan Hoplites back around through a very dangerous location. Some of them got caught in the brimstone pits, unfortunately, but there wasn't much I could do about it. They're coming from right here. And I'm sending them back around here to get involved in the fighting that's happening over here. Now that I see Dema's doubling down on this side while widely ignoring this. Spartan Hoplites here are just kind of holding the line. The Chosen Sword Band have charged in. 1 pike unit's breaking. He's charged another unit in here. These pikemen, half dead, more than half dead, are still holding their ground as the Iceni move in to start cutting apart the units that I have managed to hold on for this long. And I believe, yeah, look at them. They're all tired, winded, tired, except the new one is active. I've tired them all out with just a single unit. Dema, ever since starting to play Shogun 2, has had one main weakness in his troop movements, and that is that he always overcommits units, tires them out, gets them surrounded, problems like that tend to be his biggest weakness, and he's improved vastly on it, but as you saw in the last battle I posted, it can be a real Achilles heel to him. Real large Achilles heel, because, you know, he committed all these units, they all got very tired, they all just got torn apart, and they couldn't break through my very defensive units, which only got winded. 3 of them are already routing, only 2 are left here. He's still got more on the walls, which, by the way, Dave has sent some chosen spear band down the walls to engage the dismounted Hellenic Desert Cataphracts. Interesting choice. I believe these guys may be out of ammo, so they're finally moving away. I believe to the safety of the docks or something. Quote-unquote safety. I have a lot of traps there. Over here is finally seeing a lot more combat through a large amount of skirmishing. Remember, Dema did bring 1 more skirmisher than we allowed, so he did have more firepower than I anticipated. Some good damage has been done to my hoplites. And some noble swordsmen are starting to try to cut through them as well. He's even sending some more noble swordsmen in behind. Looks like his fire arrows are hitting some of his own units because they were taking a morale loss. Got some hoplites blocking this unit, this roadway off. I brought them from down here. This unit still barely holding on, 19 units, but still holding the line. Look at these brave 19 hoplites holding off against all these barbarians with all their friends just slaughtered behind them. See, the skirmishers are firing overhead. Yeah, I really was not ready for a 4th unit. I did not account for it. He missed the message where I told him not to bring it, though. Death Ninja got some units into the city finally. He's charging in a charging formation into my units here, which barely got in formation to meet the charge. And he got a good javelin throw off. But the heroic nobles are coming in to assist, which is fine. I mainly kept these units here to kind of delay the enemy units best I could and let Dave do a majority of the fighting. If we look over here, he's largely abandoned his side of the battle. Half his units are just moved over here at this point. Well, half of what remains. Actually, a lot of his units are still on the walls. Slowly defeating these units and taking up their time, essentially. It works both ways, though. He's sending his skirmishers, looks like, onto the walls. Okay, Dave is also committing way too much to these fights on the walls. Even these skirmishers he's sending onto the walls. He's pulling a Dema, quite honestly, and committing way too much to 1 point. Which is unfortunate for me. His general is still doing well. A lot of his traps are widely unneeded, but he has sent a lot of troops over here. His scorpions have been completely destroyed. They probably already used all their ammo. My unit here is finally breaking. I have charged the heroes of Sparta, my super offensive spear units, as you can see here, into melee combat, flanking the sword masters. And they seem to be doing alright. Still not the best matchup because these are sword units, but they are very effective units. And considering these guys are flanked on both sides, you can see they're winded, attacked in the rear, the morale's falling. I'm retreating some more units back. I have some mercenary Cretan archers, which I actually put here as bullet sponges, essentially. Because I was moving the heroes of Sparta in, I wanted to protect these units and just kind of absorb the missile fire. And so I've just been running them around. He's got his general, his noble riders over here, charging into the rear of my heroes of Sparta now, and into the mercenary Cretan archers. But the chosen sword band have also reached this front now, so he's kind of in a frontline engagement. My other heroes of Sparta is still fine, still doing well. Over here, all my units have died. My Spartan Hoplites, he's broken through. Over here, he's broken through this street as well. And he's now come over here and is committing a bunch of units. Oh, perfect timing. The fiery balls of justice went down. Doesn't look like they got too many kills, unfortunately. It's like they didn't register the enemy's units. But as we could see, I have the mercenary Cretan archers that are actually out of ammo here, supporting my pikemen. My pikemen, which are making pretty, oh god, floating units. Pretty easy work of a lot of these units that are charging up a stairway into the pikes. Another overzealous commitment of way too many units. He's sending literally half his army to fight a single pike unit up front. Spartan pikemen, too. Really not the best idea. Over here, Death Ninja has sent some sword masters around this end from, I believe, yeah, right here to try to flank me. I am getting my Royal Spartans over here, my general unit, actually, as well as my other Royal Spartans moving around here to stop him. They may be sword masters, but they're not going to cut through 2 Royal Spartans. They're not even going to cut through 1, quite honestly. As you can see, his units are already suffering massive casualties against my pikes, which are taking some skirmishing fire, but at this point, I kept them far enough back. At this point, there's not much skirmishing fire left to hit them. My mercenary Cretan archers, I'm pulling back now that they've suffered some losses fighting this. Kind of just to shore up their energy. As you can see, the sword masters are coming in. My Royal Spartans are here just in time, but no side actually charged into each other, so there was no charge bonus there. And with this charge formation, without actually charging, is a very weak situation, especially since he's not coming out of the formation, which is very good for my very elite Royal Spartans, who I've just now charged into a defensive formation against his units, which are still in a charge formation, so they should make pretty quick work of these sword masters, who are taking flanking fire from this arrow tower. He's sending some hex bearers around as well now. That British onager did land its troops, which are just sitting here and getting shot at by an arrow tower. Not very useful. He's sending some spear levies around here as well, not going where Dema's going. These pikemen are being largely ignored. This defensive line is held. Some of my hoplites have still survived. This hoplite unit that was up here is still full strength. Dave is moving his units down into an engagement, forcing a melee engagement over here by this gate. Unfortunately, near the towers that I let Dema have, so he will be taking some fire. But given the angle, the enemies may be taking some fire as well. As you see, they've committed 3 and 3 on each other. But there's no overwhelming amount of troops here that could endanger Dave's units, although he left giant flanks open, which if they were smart, they would get into a column and try to charge around here. Some Druidic nobles have scattered past his units, it looks like. So the Chosen Spearband are actually going to try to retake the tower, or at least neutralize it to stop any advantage having this arrow tower would give. Over here, I am running these fresh Spartan Hoplites back. These ones are also mostly fresh. Spartan Hoplites also running back. I have a lot of healthy Hoplites left still. The Royal Spartans are holding all 3 of these units right now with ease. Only lost 6 units so far. The flanking arrow fire is certainly helping. The Heroes of Sparta, the other one I had, has charged over here and gotten in line. Both of my Heroes of Sparta I've actually brought over here. That other one never took a lot of losses despite being in extensive melee combat. The mercenary Cretan archers that still have ammo have been placed over here. My only one that still has ammo. My general has been moved back over here. I've got some Spartan Hoplites kind of defending over here. Oh, it looks like I'm moving these 2 Spartan Hoplites into their defensive wall formations, hoplite walls, to completely defend this. In case these pikes fall, they're not getting through 2 hoplite walls, I'll tell you that. But so far, the pikemen have only lost 5 units and are still doing great. The Cretan archers are back and assisting them again. Now, this is how you use archers. Just throwing them away isn't always the best idea unless you really need them to absorb some ammo. But right now, they're doing a great job at assisting the pikemen, keeping these guys exhausted and unable to charge up this hill. Over here, he's finally decided to engage with some heavy archers. Really bad choice. A fresh pikeman unit. So they're all just dying, as you see. Charging in, getting poked to death. Poke, 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 poke. Poke, poke, poke. Poke, poke. Yeah, this is, not the best idea. If we look down here, he's gotten his Chosen Spearband off the walls after capturing the gate and is now flanking the enemy units. Got it. With the arrow fire on his own side, he also has the gatehouse, which means every time his units waver and start to rout, they get oiled to death at the gate, which means they will never unwaver. It looks like the Swaby general must have died because on all sides you could see he's just started wavering and routing. Oh, even the Nabatean troops, and actually that might be the rest of the battle right there. What's left? My Royal Spartan still holding the line without any assistance. He finally finished the walls here. The rest of his units are coming back around to this side. Smart path to take. All that's left is actually the Swaby general, which was hiding outside of the walls. But his, the offensive kind of crumbled down. There were many mistakes on both sides. Couple of unfortunate scenarios. But Dave has just ordered every single one of his units as a joke now to charge out and charge at the enemy general. And he said something about charge men for honor or something like that. And the general routed. But that was the battle. That was a very interesting battle, very intense. My defending Carthage has never been so interesting, question mark. It would be even more interesting with a larger Carthage with more players. But unfortunately, we don't actually have more players. So let's take a look at these results here. Well, as you can see, my mercenary Cretan archers did amazingly. Amazingly. These were the ones that were helping the pikemen, and look how many kills they got. I guarantee you a good amount of these kills came from melee fighting. This citizen cavalry definitely did what I paid for. This one, not so much. My general never actually saw combat. The heroes of Sparta, this one saw some combat, got some good kills. Only lost like 14 units, so it wasn't that bad. Managed to make some of the Swaby forces rout. The Periakoi spears, which were a throwaway unit, got 83 kills and held the wall for like 15 minutes, I think. 10 to 15 minutes. These Royal Spartans, oh my god. The ones that were holding that entire Swaby offensive single-handedly got 254 kills, barely lost any units. Part of that has to be because he never charged, despite having a charge like based formation, like a wedge, an arrowhead. And we got into a defensive formation after that, and he never fixed his formation. With all the other units running in behind them, it just became a slaughtering ground for our Royal Spartans. These hoplites barely saw any battle, didn't really lose anyone, killed barely anyone as a result. These Spartan hoplites saw better days. They all got routed or killed, but they did all right. They were an unfortunate casualty of me not realizing he'd have, 33%, I believe, more ammo than I thought he would have. These Spartan hoplites were probably another consequence of it. I believe these are the ones that held the road, though. 147 kills, pretty damn good. They got killed off. These ones did a lot worse. Only 8 kills, lost a lot of guys. These guys were getting skirmished down, but nothing I could do about it. I didn't plan for it. I wasn't aware. These hoplites never saw battle. These hoplites didn't lose anyone despite getting some kills. My pikemen, these were the ones that the archers ran into, so those were easy kills. But these ones got 284 kills, and think about how many troops were over there. And I realized how many these archers must have killed. Now, that is how you use archers. You don't just throw them into pikemen. You support them at key positions. Or you use them to absorb ammo like I did with this one, which still got plenty of kills. My Spartan youths only got 18 kills, but that's fine. They were my cheapest unit, 200 points. And I just threw them in there just to kind of... how do you put it? I just threw them in there to delay the enemies and make them take a little longer securing the walls, which I was handing them. If we take a look at Dave over here, his general also never saw battle. Some of his sword bands didn't do so hot. The Briton Onager, 166 kills. Very good ones, too. Very nice. 188 kills on the Scorpion, even though it was firing into the worst possible place for most of the battle. This Scorpion did really well. His riders did a bit better than mine overall. They were also heavier, getting more kills, although I wouldn't say we got 1-for-1 the kills that we would have wanted, but we got very good strategic kills, which we can see over here with Death Ninja. His Germanic Slingers got little to no kills because they were crippled at the start of the battle. Also, one thing I forgot to point out was that spearmen, this spear levy right here, that we saw running out to the corner of the map, it never got moved back from the corner of the map. I actually saw it while we were playing the battle and pointed it out late in the battle. Like, oh, look, he has a spear in the corner. I wonder what that's about. It was chasing some routing units. It never got to see battle. It just ended up routing. But over here, his Chosen Spear Band, whatever this was defending, did an amazing job. 221 kills, 208 right here in the Chosen Sword Band. This one also did very well with 147. This Spear Band didn't do so well. I guarantee you this was one of the ones he put on the walls. Take this as an advice. I'll say this every battle. Don't fight with spears on the wall if you can avoid it. I didn't, because I didn't have swordsmen. We got these ones did pretty well. Overall general performance right here. These guys did really well for what they are. And these heroic nobles really get like MVPing his army a little bit in kills. 307 kills. Didn't even lose half their units. Amazing performance. Take a look at the kills to losses. He had a really good offensive, which makes sense. He's a barbarian. I'm surprised I got as many kills as I did, considering I was playing a very defensive faction and I was taking skirmishing fire. Whereas he was... Actually, I'm surprised he took so many losses, because he didn't have to deal with enemy skirmishers like I did. And I had to deal with more than I expected. Take a look at Death Ninja's army, though. His general saw a lot of battle, especially given that we charged him. Got an amazing amount of kills. Like, this general unit was used very well. 173 kills came out. Oh, like MVP of his army, really. 107 on this spear levy, an amazing amount for a spear levy. 176 on these sword masters, really good, probably fought on the walls. Same with these. The rest of his army did kind of meh, I guess, because a lot of it was, a quarter of his army at least, I believe, was thrown into my Royal Spartans. They were not ready for it. And like shot from the back as well. A lot of them were just thrown onto this little point on the walls and skirmished to death. How did his skirmishers do? Oh yeah, very well. Over 100 kills each. Amazing. And none of them fully died, despite his reckless use of them at the end. Let's take a look at Dema's army, which suffered from the fact that he didn't really think to protect himself from the sea, even though he could see that the deployment field was there. I still don't know why he did that. And when I asked him, he didn't tell me. All he did was say that he found that deploying naval units in our naval unit deployment zone was somehow cheesy. So I don't fully know. He brought very heavy archers. So not only did he have one more than we allowed, he had heavy ones too. So that explains why they got so many kills. Although I would have expected them to get more kills than they did. Like, they didn't get as much as I would expect, especially from the fact that I was watching them pepper the shit out of my units. I guess what they probably did was they probably did more damage, whereas the swordsman he sent in got a lot of the kills, which if we take a look, that does seem to be what has happened here. If you take a look at the kills on the noble swordsman, which some of which did pretty well, some of them not so much. You gotta remember, he clogged his units in a lot of places that didn't work out for him, like his pikemen. His thorax pike were just charging the melee without formation. It was really weird. I don't know why he did that. Second battle in a row he did that. And the rest of these, nothing really stands out except these cataphracts. They charged down the melee units that Dave landed from the ships and slaughtered them. They didn't stand a chance. That's what these are, the sword band. I'm surprised this got any kills at all. This one was just literally rolled over. It's sad. Not a single kill because the cataphracts wiped them out. This is why it's great to bring Cav, and Death Ninja actually really suffered from that. Losing his skirmishers. Imagine what difference he could have made on Dave's similarly overzealous clump of units if he had protected them. But that's going to be it for this battle. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you'd like to join us in our battles or talk about them, go into the description and click that community server link. You could join it on your PC, phone, even your console. And we'd love to have you there. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.